stories. And we begin tonight with Daniel Robinson, a 24-year-old geologist living and working in Buckeye, Arizona. It is one of the westernmost suburbs of Phoenix. It's a low-lying desert valley, a resort spot that has quickly grown into a full-scale city. And it is where Daniel set off on a start for a job that he loved. He left work in Buckeye June 23rd. He has not been seen or heard from since. Puzzling clues, a crash scene that raises a lot of questions is what we know tonight. News Nation correspondent Nancy Liu is live in Buckeye for us, where she spent some time with Daniel's father. Nancy.
Marnie, it has been over 3 months since Daniel Robinson went missing. This is the area in Buckeye where his vehicle was found. This is remote. The terrain is extremely treacherous, and his family now wonders whether Daniel was really in that vehicle when it crashed here.
I have faith, and I really believe I'm going to have my son back alive.
David Robinson is on the biggest mission of his life. After serving 2 tours in the deserts of Afghanistan, the Army vet has no plans to leave the deserts of Arizona until he finds his 24-year-old son, Daniel.
Treat it like a mission. I keep saying it. I'm a professional soldier. I do my job and find my son. He's my son, I'm his father, and it's my job.
The job has been filled with frustration. Daniel is a geologist who works for a company analyzing sediments in the area for a well. He was last seen leaving the worksite in Buckeye on the morning of June 23rd. A month later, a rancher found Robinson's Jeep crashed in a ravine. His keys, wallet, and phone were in the SUV, but there was no sign of him.
And I think the first thing he would have done if he was in that vehicle is at least carry his phone with him. I couldn't imagine someone 24 years old won't be attached to his phone.
I'm leaning more towards I don't think Daniel was in that vehicle.
The private investigator working with the Robinson family suspects foul play is involved. He says there are too many unanswered questions raised by data recovered from the vehicle.
The vehicle had 11 additional miles on it from the time the airbags deployed. It had 46 additional ignition cycles on it after the airbags deployed.
Jeff McGrath also notes red paint transfer on the right side of the Jeep.
The vehicle was tipped over on the passenger side, so there's no red paint in this area. So how that got there, that's why I'm saying that vehicle did not crash here. That vehicle was, its last place of rest was here, but something was going on with that vehicle.
The Buckeye Police Department refused an interview request, but provided its report in which coworkers said Daniel made odd comments about needing rest before he left the job site that morning. His father describes Daniel as always friendly and well-adjusted since his birth without a right hand.
He don't wear prosthetics, you know he was born without a hand, and he don't wear prosthetics. His mom tried to get him to wear it. No, Mom, I want to, be who I am. And that's just Daniel. He was living his dream. He became interested in geology when his first year in college, his freshman year. He took a class, and that just set it off,
Just like the Gabby Petito case, internet sleuths are also at work on this one.
Just seeing the way the car was, the Jeep was, and the evidence, to me, it actually does support foul play.
Brian Watts hosts a mystery and adventure show on YouTube. A recent episode featured Daniel's disappearance.
After I then got lots of comments from people in and around that area that said, yeah, there's crime, carjackings that happen all the time, and it's bad. It's something that they're aware of.
The search for Daniel forges on, and this man on a mission will remain in Arizona until there are answers.
I don't know what to think anymore. Just going to keep watching and keep on searching. I'm David Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son, and I'm still looking for him. Thank you all for coming out for the Q&A this morning. My name is David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, who went missing on June the 23rd, 2021. He was at his work site doing what he loved in geology. His job is to check the viabilities of the wells, to check for rocks, check the sediments that's in the wells, and also the water levels that comes out of the well to sustain water for communities that sustains water for at least 100 years. I came here since June 26th, landed on the ground after finding out my son was missing. The department said they weren't going to go look for my son. They decided to do so almost 3 days after he went missing. I made it here in Arizona on June the 26th, and I've been searching for my son since. I started my investigation, asking questions to working with the Buckeye Police Department and trying to locate what happened to my son. I started searches out there in the desert to locate my son. I was on a rescue mission, trying to find his vehicle at all costs, trying to find his location at all costs. I've been searching hospitals, mental health wards to try to get some of the homeless populations here in Arizona. This vehicle here showed up, his vehicle showed up in the picture right behind me in a 20-foot ravine almost 30 days after he went missing. It was on July the 19th that the vehicle was discovered by a rancher who was happened to be out there searching for his cattle. He'd been out there almost 2 to 3 days before. In that same area, the vehicle wasn't there, but when he saw it, he reported it to the Buckeye Police Department, who in turn came out. They said they did a extensive search that day, very detailed search, ground, helicopter, utilized cadaver dogs to search dogs, and they came up empty. I was alerted on the day after, on the 20th, that my son's vehicle was recovered. From then, I had to hear the theories that the Buckeye Police Department had about concerning my son's disappearance. And one of those theories was everything you see here is clothing. Everything was on the ground. Everything he's wearing. They also asked me do he wear boxes of briefs? Something I wouldn't know. I told him. He said, well, everything he's wearing from socks and underwear was on the ground along in that pile of clothing. His cell phone was found in the vehicle. His work computer, the laptop was found in the vehicle. In his clothing was his wallet. That was outside of the vehicle, like 3 feet away. The pile of clothes was like 3 feet away from the vehicle itself. He went to retrieve that and see that it was Daniel's. Also, his theory was that my son didn't sustain any injuries. They didn't see any blood in the vehicle. But at the same time, they believed that he had a severe head injury and brain injury, and that he kicked himself out of the sunroof and exited the vehicle because of the head injury, the brain injury. He shredded all his clothes off because he thought it was hot. He went to go hide up under a tree somewhere to cool off and maybe succumb to his injuries. But at the same time, later they told me that day, detective, that he believed that maybe my son decided to leave his family and go start his life back over, join the monastery, become a monk. After hearing that kind of rhetoric and that kind of talk, I decided to get my own private investigator. In terms, we found a lot of evidence that suggests that there's a possible foul play. Things like on the side that you see the vehicle lying on, there's red transfer paint there. Also, now I see some yellow transfer paint. The damage on the vehicle didn't match the terrain. You got 2 impressions in the windshield. You got one window bust out that was on the driver's side. We see glass on the ground. Try to match those two up. You also have, after the physical evidence there, on the black box that was data that was recovered from Buckeye Police Department that they draw. My investigator found that the vehicle was driven an additional 11 miles after the initial crash. All the airbags was deployed, and later when he took the vehicle apart and got the infotainment system sent to California for analysis, there was a time that the vehicle was crashed around 1 o'clock that day on the 23rd on the first crash. And like I said, 11 additional miles. It was over 40 some crank cycles on that vehicle after the initial crash also. Also, you know, just hearing all of that, my investigator at the same time, a few weeks later, found a sock that matches the sock in the evidence bag that the Buckeye Police Department collected on the scene. You know, so things like that prompted me as a father to continue my search. My search started off, like I said, before the vehicle was recovered or found, was a rescue mission. When the vehicle was found, it continued to be a rescue mission. At that point, you know, I see it in some kind of possible way my son survived out there a month. I can't tell you in the summer months it was 118 degrees, 120 degrees was out there. Gracious volunteers would go out there early. Like the time change may change now. Start going out there a little early because it gets hot really quick before noon. So we're out there on a recovery mission. You know, as time will progress here, my searches had to change. You know, it comes from a recovery mission to, it comes from a rescue mission to a recovery mission, and that's where we're at to date. In my searches, we're able to recover the remains, recover human remains, bring some closure to other families. In some of the areas where the Buckeye Police Department said they did extensive searches, one of the areas in particular near where this vehicle was covered, the Buckeye Police Department said they utilized cadaver dogs, scent dogs, and everything else. But yet there was a skull that we found right near, not a few hundred feet from the scene, and we recovered that, a human skull. We recovered some other human remains. So our searches, the searches that I started has been very productive of finding other people's family members and other articles of clothes that we found out there, suspicious items. It was a pile of clothes not too far from, not a few hundred feet away from where my son was last seen. You know, the well site was a pile of clothes, or somebody's clothes, underwear, socks, in the same manner my son's clothes was found in that area. So we thought of a serial killer or something going on out there. We returned those things over to the Buckeye Police Department. So there's a lot of things happening out there. There's a lot of things we do. Because I don't know what happened to my son, I also started a city search at the time. We was going to homeless shelters to pass out flyers, just in case my son became part of the homeless population. He some kind of way escaped all of this. And you know, as a father, I had to wear a lot of hats. I had to be an investigator and also be a father to make sure everything is going the way it should go. Being so, like I said, I consider every avenue. And consider avenue, you have to check everything. Again, we check the hospitals, check the homeless shelters, passing out these flyers. I haven't since, because of financial reasons, had migrated the searches to be more streamlined. We kind of cut back on costs. Now we're more geared towards the line searches where we're very productive. Like I said, finding these remains. At this point, my son, if he's out there in that desert, we're not looking for him walking around naked. Live and well. So, you know, I have to go out and do what I have to do as a father and suck that up and, you know, and look for my son. Also, I'm not giving up hope that my son is alive. So I'll still continue my campaign of getting these flyers out all over the cities, all over the state, everywhere I can. Social media, you guys, that's why if you like, share, and subscribe to this channel, that help the algorithm for me to do so, get those information out. Also, as you know, having a kind of like Vigil tomorrow afternoon at 6:30. You know, that's another way of getting the word out and getting awareness. We need you guys to come out, support, because we need to put more pressure on this department, who has yet to this date spend a lot of resources on my son. We see that all the time on these cases that's out Go National, where they spend thousands of dollars. What I have on GoFundMe now, up to this date, they spend in one day searching for these people, and you know, I have yet for them to do that for my family and my son. So, you know, need your help on that. Of course, I'm gonna have the searches on tomorrow. So those who want to come out and help out there in the desert, please do so. It'll be off of Sun Valley Parkway, Cactus Road. I need all the help I can. We're doing line searches. Also, we're utilizing anybody with 4x4 ATV type vehicles. That's fine too. I really appreciate you guys if you do that. Come out and help support the searches out there tomorrow morning. I will, like again, I said, have the kind of like Vigil tomorrow afternoon. The city distribution is still going on also. It's just that I changed the time. The time would be at 6:15, right at the location, City Senate and House of Representative complex down there, where we'll have the kind of like Vigil at 6:30. So it'll be at 6:15. If you guys want to pass out flyers, I have the flyers there. Hopefully we have a lot of people there. You can pass out the flyers while we're doing kind of like visual. And so everything matters. Everything matters. The numbers matter. I need that numbers and support. If you guys can do that, that really help a whole lot. So I'm grateful for that. If you can help. Today I came here. It's a Q&A for everybody who show support to my son's case and need to learn more about the case. Things I can give out that's not impeding on investigation, and things that some may be knowledgeable to some, but like I say, there's always new people come on and have questions and things like that. So for people who have not known about this case, that's what this is all about. So in the comment section there, I'll be going down the comment section. I have some moderators there to help kind of keep me on track of things that I may forget. I really appreciate you all out there working on behind the scenes. What I do ask you, if you can, please put the word question there or Q there as I go down the timeline, the comment section, that I can see your comment. But I'm going to do like I did the other day. I'm going to play a little bit, let you go ahead and see how one of my searches still ongoing search. We're searching those wells. I do have the footage again. I'm going to play it again. I played it the other day while we're doing the Q&A. I will be playing the, I'll be playing this video where we went down into the well site. It will be the same well. I'm trying to see if it come out a little clearer. Last time I played it, had some technical difficulties. The camera didn't come out. It looked good on my end, but it wasn't good on your end. I want you to have that detailed view of this, of everything that's going on, so you can see what I see on my end. And once we get down to 900 some feet into that well, I want you guys to tell me what you think. Anyway, again, like I said, my name is Dave Robinson, father of Geologist Daniel Robinson. I am here doing the Q&A. I will be playing one of the footage of a search that we did in the well on Monday. We did that Monday. I was able to do the job that I wanted the Buckeye Police Department to do. That is, take a camera down in that well and actually search that well. They decided not to do that. They decided to get camera to take it to the water surface and then come back up and say, oh, well, your son is not there. I'm hoping my son is not there, but that's not the way you properly do work. When I see things like that, I'm a detailed guy. I'm former military for one thing. And, we pay attention to details. And those details was not completed. And, so I had to go find my own avenue, was able to find the company Geolog, which I'm grateful they came out. And they came out and put the cameras in. They put the cameras down, gave the well owners a free well inspection, along with allowing me to get down in that well check. Again, I have questions about this well. That's why I planned it again. After hindsight, I made a video saying, hey, my son is not in these wells. I'm grateful. But hindsight, looking at this well again, I'm checking with this company to make sure that well location that they say he was last seen is accurate. The reason why, because there's some question now, is if that was the original well site versus the one that we always been saying all this time, which they were very close to each other. One was north and one is south of each other, and both was checked. And like I said, this footage is from the one on the north side of the end, and there's some other wells that we thought was wells out there that should be searched that day. We went to go search those, and turned out they are mines. So we had to regroup. I'm sure this day is Friday, so we may not be able to do it today, or if they call me today, they're ready. We'll do it today. If not, it'll be sometime next week to search those mines also. And those are vertical mines, very deep. We don't know, once we get to the water level down very deep there, at least about 200 feet down before you hit the water level. Pretty much how this well is, close to 200 feet before you hit the water. And then once you hit the water, there may be another, unlike on this well, it was another 800 some feet, almost 700, 800 feet deep of water. So so we're going to get those checked out. So thank you so much for coming in. I will go down timeline, but I'll go ahead and play this video as I'm going down timeline and doing all those things. So thank you for watching. This is the mine well, sorry, that is north of where my son was supposedly last seen. This is the one I'm having questions to make sure this is not the original well site, and I have a lot of reasons why. As you see it go down, right now we're only at 2 feet, right? Start into the well. So as it go down, you'll start seeing some obstructions there that would make you wonder. This well is supposed to be clear. To make a long story with that, everything, there should be nothing down in that well. There shouldn't be any obstructions and things like that. So it should be straight on down to the bottom of this well. So you're gonna notice that there are a pipe. You're gonna notice there a wood structure, some wood that's thrown in there, and then under there you'll notice that there's a fence post was there with the cement on the bottom of it, and something else there. And until you get all the way down to the bottom of the well, he's gonna have a hard time getting around that pipe that was put down in there. He's going to go try the sides, but like I said, there's a wood structure that's there just holding that pipe up because it got enlarged in the well site. And when that pipe went down there, that wood stopped the pipe from going all the way down to the bottom. So he's going to go through the center of that pipe just to go back and get around be able to continue to go down this well to search. But as you see, sometimes you may see him pause a little bit. And that pause is due to, like I said, he's not only doing this for me, but he's doing this for these owners. He's doing a well inspection. Right now, you see how clean it looks. That's clean in the well's perspective. Right now, he's at 91 feet down and counting. Keep going down. I guess on your screen right now, it's a little. It's getting to that point, but 99 feet, 100 feet down. Just keep continuing. You'll see when we get down closer to that where we hit that area. Then I'll talk about that. But right now, I want to go in the comment section, and I want to thank everybody who decided to come out here this morning. There you go, Mr. Razine, my battle buddy. Thank you for being out here. I see you on timeline. Thank you, Anu, for coming out this morning. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here this morning and being a moderator and helping with everything. I really appreciate that. You being here, helping out in every way you can in the background and being very passionate about my son's case. I really appreciate it. Everything you're doing on your back end. I really appreciate it. Thank you, 12-Step Woman, for being here this morning. I really appreciate you coming out. Thank you, Lois, for being here this morning. I think I got your name right this time. Thank you for coming out from North Carolina. I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. I wish I could pronounce your name, but I've seen you before, and I think you was on Mr. John Q's channel. I really thank you for coming out and being here this time and take your time out to be here. Also, Stacey, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for putting that information out, coming out this morning. Thank you, Latoria. That's my best friend's daughter. I really thank you for being out here. And thank you for you and your sister and your family, your mom, your dad, for everything you're doing. I'm really happy to see your face, see your face on the screen this morning. Thank you for coming out. Also, thank you, Rochella, for being here. Thank you for coming out, taking your time to join. Thank you, Lakeisha, for everything you do, in terms of helping out in the city distribution, all the hard work you're doing, all the many flyers you produce and put out there. It's a lot. So thank you for being part of that team and being there faithfully every week. When nobody else there, you're definitely going to be there. So I really appreciate you being there and coming out to help. Also, thank you, 12-Step Woman, for being here. Thank you so much for coming out, taking your time. Loretta D. Okay, I want to stop right here. Thank you, Loretta, for being here. He had to go through the center, trying to get to the center of that pipe at this point. It's because, like I said, he tried to go around the sides. That pipe shouldn't be there. All the struts should be there. All that debris that's sitting there on top of that water. Think about this, eventually going to be drinking water. This is water that in a well that, so he coming back to readjust the camera. We had to adjust the camera to go down a little more centered towards that pipe So we're gonna move it over just a little tad once he get it up. But what he had to do is go through the center because he tried to go down the side, and like I said, it's a wood structure. I kind of missed that going down timeline. Thank you guys. But once he go down the center, he can continue on going down as well. So that's one obstruction that you guys see is a pipe that shouldn't be there in the center of that well. So again, thank you, Loretta D, for being here. Thank you, Rochella, again, for being here. I really appreciate it. Good morning to you from New York. Thank you so much. I have a lot of New Yorkers out here. Thank you, Tanya Beth, for coming out this morning. I really appreciate you for being here. And again, my brother in arms, my battle buddy, my brother and family member forever. You know what I'm saying? My battle buddy, David Razine, thank you, sir, for coming out and being here with me. Again, I really appreciate you. Also, thank you so fresh, Sophia. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being on team, getting things together in the background, being part of the team, and we're moving along. So I'm really grateful for all the hard work that you're here, and I'm glad to see you up bright and early, bright and early to join me. I think I have this a question here, but I think Stasis, thank you for being here. If I say your name more than one time, thank you again, double times two. Thank you, Gwen, for being here also and being the moderator and helping out. Like I say, everybody can like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here and thank you for helping me. Thank you, T. Sophia, for what you do in the background, and you're helping, being a part of the John Q and Miss Q, and also with UNU and Renegade. Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for all the hard work you do yourself in the background and helping towards me finding my son. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much for everything you do. Also, my name is David Robinson, father of Geologist Daniel Robinson. I'm here doing a Q&A this morning. I'm really highlighting and running this footage again of a well that we searched, one of the wells that we searched on Monday. Was able to get a camera down this well that Buckeye formerly put down a camera into under my request. But they was unable to do so properly, as in, we need a camera that would go submergible underwater and also have the lighting and everything else, the proper equipment. This, it could have easily hired these guys to do so. A company like the company here that helped me with this well to properly do a well search. But I was able to work a deal with the owners. Owners wanted certain little deals, and also with my son's former employer and things like that. Well, not former employer, but his company, and was able to get this company out here to help me get this well search. So I'm really grateful for that. And like I said, we did this Monday. This well site here is the one that's north of the one that we originally say my son was last seen. We did both. I have footage for both, but I'm really concentrating on this one. The one that my son was supposedly last seen was clear. Didn't have any obstructions there. It's straight down. The well is not as deep as this well here. This well is very deep. It goes up close to 1,000 feet down. The other well only goes up, I think it was like 700 feet, which is deep also, but not as deep as this one. And this one has a lot of obstruction in it. It comes out clean at the top. This is considered clean when it's the well. You can probably see all the stuff on the side there, but for a well, this is clean. And until you get down to the obstruction part, once you get past that point inside the water where we're going now, you will see it's still pretty decent sidewalls. Whenever he sees something wrong, he would pause the camera, and he would take the side cameras and inspect the well, get his notes for the owners, so they can know the viability of their well, the structure of their well, to make sure it's structurally great or good, or it can be used. And so, like I said, the deal is that the owners can get a free well inspection at the same time as going down this well to search for my son, to make sure he's not there. At this point, I have to look at every avenue. It's very hard as a family to even say that, but I have to do my due diligence, and I have to look at this, anything that's dealing with the desert. In terms of my son was there last seen that we knew of at the time, I have to search everything as if he's no longer with us and find his remains. So that's the reason why, as you come out tomorrow morning to join us in this line search. we need those numbers out there. Tomorrow morning, 7:45. All the information on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. I will put that up on the banner. You find that on the website. You come out there and help. I really appreciate that because, like I said, I need those numbers out there. We utilized the line searches, a hasty search, and we found human remains out there. So of other family members. So, you know, if you guys can help us out there, we need all those numbers that we can get. The numbers has been getting lower. I can't tell you that in searches, but the people that are dedicated to come out, we all a family. They come out every weekend. We get the job done. You may have to do a little slower because, like I said, I had to cut back on calls by not utilizing these ATV, UTV type vehicles, renting them out and things. But at the same time, we're doing more line searches, which is great. Other people bring their equipment out and we can send them to certain areas. But, you know, we get it done. We get it done. And I'm really grateful for you guys that come out to help. So also thank you, Don, for being here. I really appreciate, appreciate you coming out to be a part of this Q&A. I really appreciate that. If anybody else I missed, I apologize. Thank you, Gloria, for being here this morning, coming out for YouTube. Thank you, Amber, for being here. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you. Sarah Moore, thank you for being here. God bless you. Good morning to you. Tara, thank you for being here, coming out. I really appreciate that. Grizzly True Crimes, thank you so much. Thank you, Gisela, for being here. Thank you for also Gisela will be helping me tomorrow for the for the kind of like Vigil. We're doing the live stream, so everybody was wondering about the live stream, you can come to this YouTube channel. We'll be working that thing out with the live stream. Also, I will have footages after that. Have a camera guy who will be taking videos and things like that of the kind of like visual for later use. So if you miss anything, we also have ability to play some other things for you. So thank you, Gisela, for saying that, everyone. The petition is at 107,080 signatures, and I really appreciate that. I remember when it was down to 10 signatures. So we're trying to get up to the 150 right now. The more signatures, the better. You go to change.org. You find out that on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com under sign the petition. So if you guys sign that, like I said, that's very helpful in terms of once I get the forensics work done on the vehicle and everything else. You know, your word matters. We all in this thing together, and we all your word would matter. And so I just want you to know that you know, it's helpful if you guys can do that. Thank you for Modern for being here, and thank you for your questions. If you guys have questions, please put the word question first, and then I can go back and I can find, when I come down the comment section, I can find your question. Put the word question first, or capital letter Q, and then that'll help me find your question. But I can't answer this question. Has anyone made you aware that Buckeye is a white supremacist area? They are known. They all know this crazy people live out there. Yes. I have experienced it myself. My family and I, we were out there in one location in Buckeye, and yeah, we experienced it ourselves. But you know, that's everywhere. That's everywhere in this country. Some places, like you say, here is a little more than others, where they're more concentrated and things like that. So yes, I'm aware of that. You know, but it's also aware that there's a lot of people there that are not. So that, and a lot of them do come out to the searches. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, we definitely have to be careful with that. I consider, like I tell everybody before, I consider everything possibility on my son's disappearance, and that is that. So thanks so much. I want to say real quick though, on this video that you guys see, we had a point where he's trying to go down the side of that pipe again, try to get around that obstruction, but it was unable to, because there's a piece of wood that's actually holding that pipe up. This big thick wood. The wood is almost like the train. If you go across the train track and see the wood slab that's going across under the track, that's pretty much like that. It's very thick, and that's what enlarged itself in the pipe. So in the well that they tried to use, but then when they put that pipe down there, the pipe got stopped, because that pipe would have made it all the way down to the bottom, all the way up down to 900 some feet, but it got stopped because of that wood structure that was there. You may see it a little bit on this camera, but the wood structure that was there stopped the pipe from going farther down in the well. And so whoever was intentionally trying to get that pipe down to the bottom couldn't do so because of that. and which is great because now we're gonna pull the camera back up, and he's gonna go to the center of that pipe, which will allow him to keep going farther down into the well. So that's what's going on right now. He's trying to find a way to navigate around that pipe. And so now we're going back down again. Once you get down to that 100 or so feet towards that pipe again, he would go down the center and go from there. So thank you so much. I have a question here from DJ Moore. Have you seen anything that Daniel may have found that could stop that development? Something maybe the developer might not have wanted out in the public eye. Well, there's some things that I've heard about. I do know that, like I said, my son checks the viability of the well, determine if it's producing at least 100 years. I think some say 200 years of water. That's by law. They have to have at least that for communities to be built, because you don't want to run out of water, water source. And so that's one of the requirements. Also, his job is to test the water for the water sediments, the rocks and things like that. They have tests. They test what's in that well. The bottom, when we get down to the bottom of this well, that little dirt that you see down there, they get that and they bring that back up, and they know what's in there from the sediments, the rock sediments and things that come through the cracks, and to say, hey, that water could be poison. We don't know. So that determines that water can be used and things like that. So that's his job. That's what he does. But now I don't know as in terms that it was something there or he found anything. I do know my son took some pictures of some logs. I'm going to have that analyzed too. I'm looking at every angle, saying that's the angle that I'm looking at too, from a geologist standpoint. Hey, somebody can read that outside of Arizona. That's what I'm waiting on. They can read that for me and determine what the information is that my son recorded. So I do have that, and I'm still holding on that and try to figure out those type things where he logged. Also, thank you so much for your question, and thank you for coming out, DJ Moore. With that, again, my name is Dave Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson. You guys can come out and tomorrow and go to Please Help Find Daniel. Thank you, Gisela, and RSVP for the Candlelight Vigil on tomorrow at 6:30. Just go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com under the events tab and RSVP. We also have the information there of the location and things like that. So if you have any questions, please put the word question there first before your question, or the letter Q, and it'll help me find. So you see right here on the side of that pipe, that's the big wood there that's holding that pipe up. That's why that pipe can't go any farther down in that well. It's kind of grateful that happened, because if that pipe wasn't there, that beam wasn't there, that pipe would have went straight on down there, and whatever's at the bottom of that well would have been covered up. And so now seeing all this debris, seeing the fence pole that you guys will see later, some little things I found down in that well make me question some things now. Look about this well itself. And when you get down to the bottom of that well, then I want you guys to really look at the rocks, the sediment down at the bottom, and tell me what you think once we get there. So I'm taking you on this journey with me down this well, some things that I have seen, and I would like to have your thoughts on that. RSVP, like I said, if you guys can go on to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and find out how you can join us tomorrow afternoon at the Candlelight Vigil. That's very important. If you can't make it out to the searches on tomorrow, I wish you can. I really need your help out there. But please, by all means, make it to the Candlelight Vigil, because we need all the help we can. All the numbers. I need the numbers. I need people out there. Bring your children, your friend, your family, friends, whoever. Bring the stranger if you can. We need those numbers out there to make a statement. And we need to stand in solidarity for my son and many other families who's going through the same exact thing I'm going through. It's not just about my family. It's about a lot of families. We're going through the same thing, trying to get these departments to step up their game to find our loved ones. My son has been missing going on almost 9 months, and I've yet to see them put the resources into this case to search for my son, and also to even change the nature of this case. According to the Buckeye Police Department, my son is okay. He decided to leave his family and go join a monastery somewhere. And to prove that, after the vehicle was covered on the 19th, they gave me the vehicle on the 20th. They turned it over to me. I got angry about that. had them hold it for 3 more days, got angry about it, and demanded them to do fingerprinting. They didn't even so much as did forensics work at the scene on my son, because they thinking, like I said, he just wrecked his vehicle. He coming back. Here's his things. They gave me his everything they collected off the scene. They gave it to me a few days after it was found. The vehicle was found. So they have no intention to investigate anything. They can fool you guys on a police report and say, "Oh, we're investigating." How you investigating when? And also, how you investigating without these things that you turned over to me? They turned over everything. If you investigate something, you will hold on at least to the clothing. You'll do some forensics work onto it. You keep it in an evidence locker and keep it. I should not have had those things as a family member turned over to me if there's investigating. They were never investigating, and that's why those things were turned over to me. They even went farther to double down on their theory that my son's going to come back and grab his things, that they hired their own accident reconstructionists after they didn't like what my accident reconstructionist found, and with using their data. They went and got an accident reconstructionist who in turn never seen my son's vehicle, never examined the clothing, never even touched that vehicle. You know, I have that vehicle in my possession. He never ever even asked me to look at the vehicle. But yet he went to a dealership to bolster his theories, went to a dealership, not to the company. And I want y'all to look at that in the report. Don't get fooled by that. He went to some dealership here in Arizona. And just like me, I can go to a dealership and go knock on some worker's shoulder and say, "Hey, what you think about this?" Or I don't know what he said to him. It's not an official report. He can say, "Hey, all I need you to say that." He could have asked like 5 or 6 of them. All 5 or 6 of them could have had different opinions, and he took the one that was more favorable. I'm not saying that's what he did, but he could have. The one that's more favorable to what he want, and then he wrote that down as a co-worker, one of the workers of the company, of the manufacturers or whoever make this Jeep, one of the dealership people at some dealership. So yeah, that happens sometimes, and he put that in his report. So that's ridiculous to me. That sounds ridiculous. And it's a lot of ridiculous things that happen in this case, and you guys can see it in plain view. And see, that's the reason why we have to get you guys out there. And it's kind of like Vigil tomorrow, because we have enough of that. When I say we all should, because it can happen to anybody. I hope it don't happen to anybody, but it can. It's obvious it happens every year. Thousands of people go missing, and stupid stuff like this from these departments happens. You know, that shows lack of concern. That's what they call lack of concern, because if it's their child, you best believe they'll be doing the same exact thing I did, demanding stuff, and it'd probably be a lot worse. Only difference is, I'm sure if it was an officer and his child, he would have got all kind of attention. It would have been every police force in this country coming out there looking for his son. I wouldn't have to ask for a volunteer to come out there tomorrow to help me search for my son. You see how they do when they have a fallen police officer? You have police officers from all over the country taking vacations to whatever to get on that ground and do stuff for a fallen officer. Well, my son, I'm a soldier. I served this country. I fought well. I sustained injuries. I sustained a brain injury. You didn't see me shred my clothes off from Afghanistan. I did shred any clothes off when I had a brain injury. But they're saying that's what happens. But yet this country and people do not come out there, police or whoever, will line up out there in my searches and sit there and find my son. So that's what I'm saying. There's double standard on a lot of things, and we shouldn't stand for that. So we need to try to make some changes in the way they approach these cases. They need to take it to see if they can't do the job, they shouldn't be police officers. I mean that, from the bottom of my heart. I should not be able to go into a police department and see them walking around, eating coffee, talking on the phone, whatever. They should be moving around. The police department should be like a Chick-fil-A or something, They should be moving around trying to find answers to people's problems and cases and things like that. So you should be tired. You should be dead tired when you come home from work because you're being moved around all day. That's what police officer job should be, and that's what I need to see. So this kind of like Vigil is the beginning of, making that statement. We got to do some change. I'm gonna do everything I can. That I may not be making a total change. I'm gonna try. That's what I'm aiming for. But you know what? I may make some kind of dent somewhere for somebody else to take over from that point and get some changes done, because where they should approach missing person cases, they should assume the worst first and then work their way back. Not assume everything's okay. Oh, he's a grown man, he can disappear if he want to, type scenario when the family say, hey, this is not typical of my son. We know our family member. This co-workers don't know my son. They don't know him from a job. You're gonna map my son down to a work experience of his character and who he is as a person. to a work experience instead of going to where he has been all his life from childhood. So that's two different things. So that's another subject. I'm going off on tangent. I can do that sometimes. It is a very emotional time. But you guys, thank you so much for your question. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I have a question here from Lakeisha. Thank you, Keisha, again for everything you do. We're down to 362 feet, by the way, in this mine. This well. And you see how the sediments are starting to get a little rough. Things floating around in the water. And the well inside, the sidewalls are looking really rough. That's a lot of bacteria that grows on the sidewalls, what I was told. And also some of those need to be treated because that's bacteria that eats metal. It takes a long time. So, but that's when you can start seeing little areas where the owners need to be wary of, because that does show signs of it's like metal eating bacteria type deal. So anyway, the question is from Lakeisha. Thank you so much again. How many more acres of desert will you search? That's hard to be determined. That's hard to be determined right now. We do everything based on our grid. We have a mapping system. We look at where we didn't hit yet and what we should hit based on, like I said, the 11-mile radius, based on things like that, how far a person can walk before they collapse. And believe it or not, after all this time, the way we have to do these searches and the way we're doing it, and because of the terrain, we still have something to do. So right now, I do not know. Once we get finished, my search coordinator, Evan, logistic coordinator, he have the Gaia GPS system that he added to our searches, and that will help. That helps also with determining how much acres that we did cover. Like I said, did more than 19,000 acres. That was before we started recording with Evan when he came along. Before that, like I said, I had searches. So I don't know just yet, Lakeisha, but we're still trying. We're trying to make sure all of that is covered before I can call all the searchers out in the desert. We want to make sure I'm not half doing a job. You can see here, the job was half done by that police department. They came out with that camera and then go down in the well like this camera here and actually check this well like I'm doing, haven't done here on this at 400 some feet in the water. I'm not going to have to do a job or watch somebody have to do a job when my son's life is at stake. His integrity, his justice, everything is at stake. And I'm going to make sure that, everything's done the right way. And, he's right now doing his thing. You guys see the side of that well. He just pretty much going around and he making his notes. So that's why I stopped. And he's actually checking the sides of the well just to get his notes to the owners and let them know what they got going on their well down there. But at the same time, so when you ever see the side views like that, that's just for his purposes of helping doing that inspection. Then we go back straight down. He's also doing inspection going straight down, but that gives me the opportunity to see what's down in the well at the same time. So like I say, all of that is working together. So now you understand what's really going on. So he's taking a circle around and actually checking this well wall, what I'm saying, and what's growing on the walls of that well. Some of you see the kind of ridginess of that well. That's where the water, the underground river that flows, is able to seep through that wall, and that's how the water gets in the well itself, comes through that wall and kind of collects there, and it builds up in that tube there. So in a sense, in that well, so that's how the water get in there. It's through the sides and then the bottom. So that's what's explained to me. So I'm learning a lot about these wells, and as we're doing it. So thanks so much. I have a question right here from a 12-step woman. Is this well furnishing drinking water? Yes, that's what it's for. One of the things that bothered me, of course, watching this was all that stuff floating in the water. That, like you said, that looking at the sides and things like that. And he said, yeah, that's what we do. That's where you get your drinking water from. I think a lot of times people we won't know that unless we see things like this, and then we say, oh, I'm not drinking water anymore. That type deal. But yes, what I understand is if they was to use this well, they found out this well is able to be used. The water's okay. When I say the water's okay, that means it can be drinkable minus all the stuff they see floating around. What they do, they clean this well out. They suck, have pumps down there sucking the water and sucking all that junk out of there, and let it flow for a length of time until they get, I guess, to a cleaner source. And then from that point, they use it. So yeah, this is coming from the earth itself. the water's coming out the ground. So, and the debris, a lot of that debris shouldn't be there. And like I said, that's because somebody was throwing some things in there for whatever reason. Right now we're at 467 feet down in that well. And you can see this water is deep. We started off at, I think it was like 160 some feet before, or almost 200 feet when we actually got to the water surface. And then after that point, we're going straight down from the water surface down through the water. Now we're at 483 feet. So it goes a lot deeper than that. So it's amazing to even think that, this well is very deep. So you throw something down in there and it sinks down in there, it goes down there far in the earth. So it's really far. And, it's amazing that, we put things down in there. But yes, that is water that is used for drinking. I have a question here for Don. Thank you so much again from Facebook being here. What is the width of that well? I didn't check the width, but I could tell you it's big enough for a person to fit in there. And that's the scary part. That's the reason why I'm searching it. It's the one that he was supposedly last seen. That one can be a little more questionable, as in the person can fit down in there. That would be more of a person being dismembered in some fashion to be able to get them down in there. This one, no, it's different. It's wider. And yeah, it's very wide enough for that kind of thing. I'd hate to think that way, but I have to from an investigative standpoint. And yes, that's the reason why I'm more concerned about this well north than I am for the one they say they gave me and say this is where the well that he was last seen. And I have reasons now after getting this footage to question the company, which I will have a meeting soon with them to verify that the well that they say they took me to was the well that my son was last seen. So I need to I have those meetings with them to get those kind of answers pretty soon. So thank you so much for your question, Don. All right. Again, my name is Dave Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing on June 23rd. Today, I'm doing a Q&A. I'm also showing you guys, while I'm doing the Q&A, showing you guys the footage of a well that had been searched on Monday. I did a total of 2 wells that day. And on the other 2 wells that was scheduled, 3 wells that was scheduled, 2 of them we just found out, one is not a well itself, but I thought it was, and the other 2 were mines that had to be searched. So we had to regroup, and hopefully maybe today or sometime this week to go down in those mines and get those checked too. So turn out they are mines instead of wells, and we'll get those searched. Again, my name is Dave Robinson, father geologist Daniel Robinson, and we're doing a Q&A this morning. I have a question again from She Rose Nation. And do like She Rose Nation doing, ask you guys if you can put the word question there first, or put a letter Q, capital letter Q first before you ask your question. That way, I'm not going down the comment section. I actually can see your comments and your questions. It make it a whole lot easier for me. Right now, we're at 535 feet, and it's going to still go for a while. So sorry I'm late. You're not late. You're here on time, She Rose Nation. Thanks so much for being here. Did you ever find out what the white structure was in the other well that appeared to look like the top of a skull? And that's what I'm going down at now. I was really trying to get to this point for you guys, and I'm hoping this video sustained itself as it is now, a lot clearer than it was the last time I took you guys down on the other video I did before, the Q&A I did before, showing you the same footage. This time I hope it's a little clearer. On my end, it's very clear. I'm sure on the feed it's a little fuzzier than it would be on my end. That's only because I'm streaming. But I will have that analyzed, She Rose Nation. I will have that analyzed by a professional, because yes, hindsight on that day after I was out there on the ground, was trying to figure out what it was. That's why you saw the guy who kept bringing the camera back and forth. He was actually using the camera to try to move the dirt around down the bottom there to see what that is. That's whatever that structure is, whatever it was, to see if it indeed was a skull. We're talking about it. You guys, we have it on mute, so you guys didn't hear us talking or anything like that, but just to see what that was, couldn't really tell. So at the end, I just assumed it wasn't nothing until, like I said, I got home and looked at this footage again, and now I have questions. I have questions because it do like a top of a person's skull. The second reason is because of the fence post and everything that was thrown down there along with it, as if something was used as a weight to hold something down. And then everything else was put down in there as a cover up, you know what I'm saying? So that type deals, like I said, if I take this footage and compare it to the other footage of the other well that I've searched, you'll see the well should be. It should be a straight shot, straight on down. How you're seeing right now, it should be wide open, straight down that well with no obstructions. You might see debris and stuff like that floating around because that's the settlements, but you should not see a pipe down in there. You should not see a fence post down in there. You shouldn't see certain things. So those are questionable. Those are questionable motives that something may be there. Somebody's trying to hide or try to sink and all kind of things. We know how people do. So thank you so much for your question. And we get down there. Yes, that's one of the things I'm going to look at. Thank you, Gwen, again, for putting us up, like, share, and subscribe. Please do so, you guys. That help the algorithm, help me get my get this out farther to more people. I really appreciate you guys if you can do that. Get the algorithm going, like I said, and so I can reach more people. That's the whole name of the game. So I put my son's story out there a lot farther, and keep this thing going. So again, if you guys can come out tomorrow and help with the searches. I will be there at 7:45 tomorrow morning, Sunvale Parkway, Cactus Road. You can see that on the website. Give you directions how to get to the searches tomorrow morning. We'll be out there to roughly 12 o'clock noon, 12 o'clock noon. And, if you guys can do that and also come out to the kind of like Vigil, that would be at 6:30 tomorrow. If anybody that would like to pass out those flyers or get those, distribute those flyers like we do every day, every Saturday on 3:15, moving that over to 6:15, and I'm having the location at the complex where we have the kind of like visual. And if you guys want to just grab the flyers and take them with you, but I hope you stay for the kind of like visual. That's what I really need you there for. And if or if you want to help pass them out at the kind of like visual, that would help out too. So we need those numbers. We need people to show up at a kind of like visual. If you can't make this searches on tomorrow, I hope you can. Rather for you definitely be at this kind of like visual. If you can't make the desert search tomorrow morning, I'd rather you be here at the kind of like visual for tomorrow, because I need those numbers to make the statement. And I'll be a speaker. We have a couple other speakers that would be there, and what we need to bring some light and shed some light into my son's case. It's been almost 9 months since he's been missing. Like I said, I have yet to see the action that I would like to see in my son's case and taking it serious. My son's been missing almost 9 months, and they need to take this serious. Thank you for your questions that you have. Again, thank you for Sarah for being here, Sarah Moore. The question is, David, is your son the type to speak out if he knew or saw something wrong, or did he avoid these types of confrontations? No, my son is exactly that. Yeah, he's an outspoken guy. If he was raised that way. He was raised that way by myself and his mother. All of them. They're raised that way. You see something wrong, you speak about it. It's almost like John Lewis would say, the late John Lewis say, you see something wrong, say something. You need to say something, and you do. You know what I'm saying? That's my son. He stood up for what he feels is right. My son even done a Black Lives Matters protest. He did an interview. I'm very, very proud of him. He's standing up against police brutality. We all know that's a big problem in this country. I have scars on my body to this day from childhood, from police brutality when I was a kid. So, stand up for what's right and get things taken care of. So, that's my son. Yes, he will stand up for what's right, but he's very respectful. But he's also going to stand up what's right, and he will do that. So yes, that's his nature. He's not a person to sit there and see something that's wrong is happening and don't speak out. He would say something. So yes, thank you so much for your question. All right, I have a question again. I wish I could say your name, but thank you so much for being here from Brooklyn. I guess it's like that's for Brooklyn. So thank you so much for being here, Brooklyn Cord Cutters TV. I believe that's how you say that. So thank you so much for being here. The question: do you think somebody threw that in there? Oh yes, of course. That mind's supposed to be clear. Everything that's in there, somebody put in there. It definitely shouldn't have any all that stuff in there. So yes, somebody put something in there. The reason why, I don't know. And that's what I'm trying to find out. And that's what I'm looking for. Right now, we're at 709 feet in that well, and it's going to keep going. So while I'm doing so, guys, I'm trying to answer your question as much as possible. Put the word question there first, and then your question. I have one from Shauna. Shauna B, thank you so much for being here this morning. I really appreciate everything you're doing. Question: is there a copy of the police report for viewing on the Buckeye Police Department website? I haven't been able to find it. Do they leave each version up or just their updated one? Okay, so well, I can say it like this. I don't know what Buckeye doing with their report. I haven't been on their site. I don't know what they have up there currently, but I do know when other people ask me questions, I go on these podcasts and things like that, ask questions. They ask questions, tell me something that's on the report that I didn't even know. And the reason why is because I got tired of after I seen about the third report, and I saw some things they put in. First of all, things like, oh, the father said his son was in love with a woman he didn't know. That's falsehood. I did not ever say that to that police department, and that's something I wouldn't say to them because it's not true. My son has never said that to me. He never ever expressed that to me. So why they want to keep that narrative like that, I do not know. So those are falsehoods. Some other falsehoods that was my daughter was upset about, that was said about her in that report, and that's falsehoods. So, and also the thing is, so I got tired. I got tired of some of the stuff I see in the report. They originally, when they told me they had no more, and the crazy part about it, I have a clip from the news clip. They tried to delete that once they realized that they said this. They put it out, what they was doing, and they realized that it became national and that everybody was asking questions. They deleted their post when they came out officially and said they had no more leads to follow in my son's case and that this case was over. They gave me all my son's things. Think about this now. But then they try to delete it. You can't delete nothing off Facebook. I have a copy of that. I had to go get it through one of my media contacts, but I was able to get that as my evidence for later on. These guys said they had no more leads to follow, and it was done my son's case, right? They was done my son's case. They gave me a report in that meeting that I had with Chief Hall and Chief Sanders and everybody else. They gave me a partial report. And on that same meeting, he said, hey, I'm going to give you a full report. We're going to finish writing it up. We finished now writing this report up. And all this is a recorded meeting. We're going to finish writing this report up, and we're going to give you the copy, the ending report, right? The final report. This is the full report they were going to give me. And they did that. Matter of fact, the reports that I have, they both are unredacted reports. It's done. It was done deal. Right? I kept this thing going. That's not satisfied with me. I'm out here looking for my son. Now they're coming up with all these different reports. Everything they hear me say on this podcast. Tell the Biff, I know you listening now. Told me they listen to what I say on these public events and stuff like that. And I noticed that when I hear things, feedback from what's on the report now, it's always mimic what I'm talking about, in public. So yes, in my opinion, it's about covering themselves up right now. And that's what they're doing. So as in the report part, I don't know what they have up there now. Stop keeping up. My opinion, it feels like they're up to probably 5 reports now, just to realign and write things. I could tell you I was going through Miss Q, her podcast, and was going through the report. And I'm looking at the original report they gave me versus the one they come out, the new one they have now. You can see how they changed some sentences and things like that, the wording and this and that. And I call that falsifying reports. That's what I call it. So I do have those, and I have to match those things up, and that's what they do. They got caught before. This department, Chief Hall got suspended for a bad report. So falsifying documents. So that's what they do. That's what that department do, and I had to watch out for that kind of stuff. So I don't know what they have, what that police department have, and right now, just keep what I have and go with that. Thank you again. Like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you guys can join us tomorrow at the at the kind of like Vigil. I need those numbers for things like this. Things like this. It's frustrating as a father. It's frustrating as a family to have all this. Mind you, if I wasn't the kind of father I am and just would have walked away, this falsehood would have been in those reports, and you guys would have read that, and it would have been, we moved on to something else in life. But I'm a father that's not going to allow that, and I'm fighting really hard to prevent that. So thank you guys for being by my side and helping out. Okay, I have Don again. Thank you so much for being on here every morning from Facebook. I really appreciate you. Is the FBI involved? Sound like the same police in the Prince investigation in Minnesota. I'm not familiar with the investigation in Minnesota, but I can tell you that the FBI is not involved, as far as I understand, as far as I know. I did hear some little hints that the FBI had asked one of the guys who was a subject in my son's case, a matter, had called him and, asked some questions. But as in terms of having them being part of the case, no one came to me and said that they're not, as far as I'm concerned, part of this case. I was told personally by the Buckeye Police Department that the FBI, Chief Hall said he was going to get a case review because I requested the FBI had a striking letter to them proving the point that my son went missing in a crime scene. You know, that whole desert area out there where they're going to build this community is a crime scene. Where you see this well right here is a crime scene, this area. And my son went missing in it. So the letter spoke for itself. He had to agree. I used some of the words that he used on CNN. He had to agree to bring in, at least bring in a case review. He said he's going to ask for a case review. My attorney is right then, as soon as we got that information from him, that letter, email from him, she sent an email back. We sent an email back, being asked, requesting to be a part of that case review when he get it. And if they don't want her involved because she's an attorney, I need to be there because I'm his father. I need to be there, part of that case review. Chief Hall decided to do this, according to his detective, to do this case review on his own in secret, away from me as a father who's been here since June 26th. And in that case, he didn't come out as the man to tell me himself. He had his deputy to call, his investigative detective to call me and said that, hey, look, they're not going to come into your son's case because you, Mr. Robinson, as a father, are doing such a great job. The FBI feel like you're doing such a great job. They don't need to come in. I'm doing such a great job on my own. And that sounds ridiculous to me. So, yes, that's definitely a problem. And, so I'm dealing with that. Again, my name is Dave Robinson, father geologist Daniel Robinson, with missing on June 23rd. I'm here doing the Q&A. If you guys have questions, please put the word question there first, and the question there first, and then followed by your question. I have one from my battle buddy. We served in Afghanistan together. A real true friend of mine, not just a friend, but like a brother and everything else. Thank you, Racine, for being here. Again, every time I see your name, it makes me smile. I'm really happy to see you. I wish we can meet again and see each other in person again. Miss you, brother. Miss you from our times when we was in Texas. Okay, are you using drones? Yes, the best ability. We have people donate their time with their drones. The drones that I do need, though, with certain capabilities that we don't have. Those are things that I'm stressing and really trying to work hard on getting to this date. But like I said, I'm cutting back on fundings now because I have to try to gain money to get the forensics work done. I do have the phone getting done, but everything else had to get done. So one piece at a time now, because I have to try to make sure I have the funding sparingly, use the funding sparingly to keep the searches going, keep everything I'm doing now going, because I don't know how long my son's going to be missing. So right now, I don't have the drones the type of drones that I really need to be more effective out there in the desert. But we do have people come out with their drones. I even purchased a drone for the search, which is one of the Mavics, and so we can I can fly over the terrain. Like when we're doing live searches, I send the drone out before us to make sure there's no dangers out there. Because people on the ground, we walking and try to go ahead of us sometimes. Just little things like that. Also go back later and actually do a search from the footage. So things like that. So we do utilize drones out in the searches. So thank you for those questions, and thank you for being here, sir. I really appreciate it. All right, thank you again, you all, for your questions. I have one from Loretta D. Thanks again for being here. Question: where can I find the live stream of the Candlelight Vigil? You'll find it here. I will put that link out. I should have put that out earlier, but I put it out today. I put the link on the website for the live stream, and I put the link. Well, I'm sorry. No. That link is for people who are actually going to be doing the streaming. But it would be here on this channel. So if you come back on this channel at 6:30 tomorrow, you can watch it. You can watch it here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, John Q on his channel, he would be live streaming also. Miss Q should be out there doing a live stream with their camera. So you got a lot of ways you can watch it from this channel, and also I think Gizla K from Grizzly True Crime, she will be handling the live streams from my channel here. This channel, Please Help Find Daniel, and she may also be streaming from her channel. Again, I said also that you guys can watch it off of John Q. So of that stream. So thank you so much for that. Yes, there'll be those ways you can watch it. But if you guys can come in person, I really need you out there. We need those numbers, and I understand the ones that's in a different state and things like that. understand your position. If you guys are here in Arizona or close by, if you can in any kind of way be here, that would definitely help out. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your comment. We're getting down to the bottom right here to this well, so I'm also getting to the bottom of this Q&A. But right here we're at 929 feet down in that well. Thank you, Shauna, for your prayers, and I really appreciate it. God bless you too, and thank you for everything you do. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're at the bottom as well, at 931 feet down in this well. It's very deep. As you see the little sides there, that's where the water is able to come in from the river, the underground river that runs through, that flows. But that is where you see all this buildup and the stuff. So he's doing a well inspection of this well, at the same time giving me the ability to go down in this well and search this well. So we got a little ways to go, a little bit more, but we're getting down to this well. It should have been clear all the way down. When I say clear, there should be no obstruction. There shouldn't have been that wood structure. There shouldn't have been a fence post that we about to see and all this other stuff down there on the bottom as well. And but it's there. For my opinion, it could be for a reason. I'm checking into that. And when you guys get down there, I think this foot is a little more clearer than it was before. You can see what I see. You can see that right there. That's coming up to a structure of something, fence post. So that's down there, and something else down there. Could be used as weights to hold something down. And that's what I'm looking at from a investigative standpoint and from a suspicious standpoint. So you guys can see where I'm at on that part, then you understand. Thank you so much for thanks for everything you're doing. Gisela, you can let me know the other ways also about the streaming. At Loretta D, it is on the homepage of this channel. Here's the link. Thank you so much for that. And I will put that link again on the Twitter page. I'll put it on the Facebook. And I believe Gisela, I think she'll have it on, Gisela Gwen, you'll have it on the Instagram page. So, and I'll also try to make sure I get it on TikTok and things like that. So we have the link there for you guys to live stream this candlelit visual tomorrow. But that's right there. What you see right there is a fence post. And why would a person put that down there? You already know that a fence post has this one has a cement on the other end, the end that's down on the bottom, that's facing down. So that's a fence post there. Whoever put that in there first, that's the first thing they put down in there. Then they put the wood structure there. Then they put the pipe there. So you see the cement part there, and trying to figure out, actually that's the post part that goes where the fence actually connects to the other side of the fence. But anyway, that came sliding down. But anyway, it shouldn't be down there. None of that stuff should be there. Around that well is a fence that was kind of, I now understand why that fence is kind of torn the way it is, and it's missing that pole. So that's where the pole is. On the ground level, you'll see that pole missing from that fence, and that's where we now know where it's at and why, and what reason why it's down there. But when you go farther down, he's going to go even further down that pole, because we're wondering why that pole is there, why that fence pole and all the other structures that we passed by just to get to the bottom of this well, which we're at 949 feet right now. We actually bear the question. So thank you so much, Shauna B, again, for your prayers and things like that. I really appreciate it. We need all the prayers we can get. If you have a question, thanks so much for asking those questions. I have a question here from 12-Step Woman. Are those filters shown there that need replacing? I'm not a well expert, but I think that's normal, the way it looks. Those filters, I know people looking at it and say, oh, we drink this water. Yeah. But that's normal. According to him, that's called sediments. Those sediments usually fall down to the bottom. The water that you actually get to drink, they had the pumps close up to the top. And so all the sediments usually stays down there where it belongs. And, they have the water coming up from that point. So higher up at a higher level. So, I'll try to learn a little bit more about these wells, but I'm not the expert on that. But yes, it is the water that he used for drinking. But right now he had to wait till the settlement stopped. He kind of brushed aside and all that stuff from the side started falling. So he's trying to wait till it clear out a little bit so we can go down there and see a little farther. But that's the fence post where it ends at. It goes down and it stops right there on the bottom of this well. Okay. Thank you, New, for putting this up. so much. I kind of like Vigil. Win is tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, at the House of Senate lawn in Arizona State Capitol. You guys can come out there, 1700 West Washington Street. Is right there down in Phoenix. So thank you so much for Unique for putting that up. Again, this is footage from a well that I have searched on Monday. These are some of the things that was pushed down in that well, trying to figure out the reason why. He's trying to wait till some of that stuff settle a little bit. But what he's doing is trying to take that camera down to the bottom itself, but he had to navigate around some of these obstructions that's there. One is a fence post. I'm trying to figure out why is that. And then when you get down the bottom, if this feed stay clear as it is now, it's a little more clear on my end than yours. But you'll see something there that make you question. I just want to kind of have your idea. One of the people here in the comment section alluded to it already. And, like I said, I'm going to have that analyzed by professionals who can tell me exactly what that is on the bottom. It's kind of covered up by the sediment, the dirt that's down there. And as far as I know, dirt could have been put there. If you see this little white spot on your screen, it looks like a bit light there, but it's not a real light. It's actually something that would almost mimic something there. So we saw that with the light shining off of it. We talked about it. He's trying to navigate the camera to get there. First of all, that little area that you see, that shouldn't have been there. The pipe, the fence pipe shouldn't have been there. A lot of stuff shouldn't be down there on the bottom. And if you look at the once you navigate the camera over, there's a starlight type lighting system. There it goes, came up now. He was able to put some more light there to better see what's going on. So he's putting things on the side. He still got to do his little structure for the report. And then he's going to also start going back down again and try to see what that little area that I'm telling you guys, would you look at? I want you to check it out and see what that is. But this is some of that bacteria, I'll tell you, that would eat up metal. So he had to show that. But that's the fence post that you see there coming up now. That shouldn't be down there. Of course, that's the side walls of the well itself, and all the stuff that grows on it. Very not so nice looking, but that's what goes on with that. So anyway. He's going to keep going on down, looking down on that well, going down view. And like I said, if you keep your eyes on this one area, the little spot there, it's going to be almost like a light at first, but you'll see it's something else buried by the dirt that's down there. I'm going to ask questions about these wells, learn a bit more about these wells, if that dirt should have been there in the first place. Maybe somebody dumped a lot of dirt down in there. But, I'm going to ask all those kind of questions and have an expert to look at this one area that I'm hoping after a while you guys can see what I'm talking about. Again, my name is Dave Robinson, the father of Geologist Daniel Robinson, who was missing on June 23rd, out here doing a Q&A to bring awareness and to answer some of your questions. Today I'm doing a little video of a well that I had searched and give you a little idea of how wells are searched for one thing, and also what we found, what's been found since we've been down in that well. Hindsight, I thought nothing was there. We wondered why these structures are there, why this fence post is there. But later on, you can see the bottom of that well now. But later on, looking at this footage again, I saw something there significant, and I want to have it analyzed and looked at. So he's clearing the camera up right now. This camera has the ability to focus in different ways, and so he's trying to get it. We're trying to get it navigated where the camera's turned around to a different place. And then look at this one spot that's questionable, because you see the end of that pole going down in the dirt. That suggests that that pole is like whatever the bottom of that pole with the cement area is buried, right? So there had to be so much dirt put on that to bury that fence post, buried down in the dirt. So whatever's on the end of that fence post, whether that's the cement, is under the dirt, if you get what I'm saying. So we do see something peeking out from the dirt that suggests something's buried, but we don't know what that something is. So he's trying to navigate the camera to take a look at it at the bottom. And once we get it navigated, you will see, and there'll be something there that will give you the impression that, in my opinion, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this, appeared to me to be a skull, the top half of a person's skull. As you know, so if something is in the water that long, human flesh would dissolve. So, I'm praying it's not anything related to my son, but I'm going to have a professional look at it and at this footage and determine if that is indeed the top of a human skull. You can see it kind of coming into the camera now. We see that he's going to try to navigate around it. He's trying to focus in on it now. If you guys can look at that beginning of it, when you get down to the other side of it, then you can see it a lot better. But you see it there under this 970 right there, numbers there. That's the little area that I'm looking at right there. He was trying his best to move the dirt if he could from that area, but it was very hard to do so, trying to navigate that. So, all right, I have a question here from Tisa Phil. Were there any tools Daniel uses in his job that requires gas? I'm asking because Daniel's got gas in the amount of $3.87, which was equal to the exactly 1 gallon was the gas can found. I don't know why that charge is on his count is weird to me too. If somebody had anything to do with my son disappearing, yeah, they would go to the gas point and say, oh yeah, he went to gas, but why did he put that amount? That's not, like you said, if that's a exact amount of gallons, I haven't checked that accuracy, but why he put a little bit of gas in there, I couldn't, it still stuns me. I tried to ask the Buckeye Police Department. Everything I asked for this police department in the past, they conveniently, in my opinion, the way they do it, I say it this way for a reason. They can't do it. They can't get his camera footage. They can't conveniently get him riding down the interstate road with his car ever. They can't get cell phone pings. They can't get, everything is that they can't do. They can't do. Asked for footage of that proved that my son would actually use his card at this gas pump. We can't get it. And they said, oh, we got this Waffle House thing though. Anything that's bolstered their story about my son is kind of something, had something going on before he went missing. The bolster that story, yeah, the lady at the Waffle House said he was acting strange and odd or whatever the case may be, they had put in their report. And I said, okay, well, let me see this footage. Oh, we got the footage of your son. We got this video footage. And when I asked for it, they conveniently can't give me the video footage, but they gave me still pictures saying that this image that I see is my son at this Waffle House. So, things like that. So I don't know what's going on with this, but I'm still getting to the bottom of it. Like I told you guys before, I rule nothing out. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but at the same time, I don't rule anything out. So I'm looking at every angle, every possible angle, until I find out what happened to my son. So, those are questions. Everything's questionable to me, and I really hold those questions to my heart. But I want you guys to see the bottom of that well. We're there now. We couldn't figure out what that structure was. I'm going to have it analyzed, and he's going to start pulling that camera back out. It's a long journey, of course, back out of that well. But thank you guys for coming in on this Q&A, answering these questions, asking these questions. You guys have more questions, please put a Q there. I'm almost finished my time. I have a little over less than 10 minutes left before I have to get off. I have, as you can imagine, a busy day. I have to get the searches going for tomorrow morning, and also, get ready for this kind of like Vigil tomorrow afternoon. Also I have family, best friend, his wife coming to town, some military buddies, and things like that. So just really have a full plate today. Some people in the team had to work with them for tomorrow. So there's a lot of things going on at one time. So thank you guys for being a part of this Q&A and being here. So if you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, I really appreciate that. It helps with the algorithms to help, we get more people here, more attention to this page. And so I can put this information out. Like I said, we got the tip line. You got it right here behind me, right here, the 844-602-0660. I think you got the first part incorrect there. You knew, but you got it right here. Thank you so much for the putting that up. The tip line is on the bottom, scroll on the bottom of the screen. If you guys have any questions, or not any questions, but if you have any tips that would lead to bringing my son home, please do so. If you guys want to hit me personally, yes, just like you see, you can call me or text me on this number. As that's also on the bottom screen. That is strictly for, like I said, comments to suggestions. Please don't use the tip line here to, give suggestions. Hey, I think you should go search this place in XYZ or something. That's not what the tip line is for. If you guys can if you find anything information that would lead me to finding my son, you can stay anonymous. It could be non-anonymous or this whatever. You could be there. We have operators 24 hours, 7 days a week that'll take your call from this number that's still on the bottom of the screen. And if you want to stay anonymous by not talking to anybody, you can say we're talking to someone. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you can just text the word tip to this number and you can still stay anonymous. So please, by all means, use that tip line for tips. And if you guys have any other things, suggestions, I love suggestions. I'm new. I'm not a professional. I'm learning every day to be better at finding my son. I'm really passionate. I'm very passionate. This is my son. I love him. So I'm doing everything I can. I'm learning as I go. Just like I said before, I reached out to John Wash several times now. Dr. Phil, he didn't directly get back with me, but I will be part of this event called Crime Con this year in Vegas on April 29th. So I'll be going out there to do a hour-long, whatever you call it, presentation. I'll be on the stage and talk about my son's case and things like that. So you guys can watch or join in. I mean, those tickets are very expensive to get to Crime Con, but it's from what I understand from the true crime community is very good. And if you guys want to be a part of that, please look out for that. But like I said, just trying to do everything I can as a father to bolster more attention for my son in this case. So thank you so much, you knew for doing this, putting that out, the number. Also, thank you so much for putting this out. The Cash App, for those who came to me and expressed that you don't want to donate to the GoFundMe because of the fees that come out of the GoFundMe, so you want to donate direct. So I had a lot of influx people wanting to use Cash App, so I did add a Cash App, and that's the Cash App that she have there on the screen. And you can find it also on the Twitter channel. I didn't put it up on the website and things like that. I was real reluctant of having multiple ways of donating. It's hard for me to ask for donations, but I know I need them. That's the only way I'm going to be able to stay here and continue to search for my son, to be boots on the ground here. Only way I can get this forensic work done and things I have to have done. So yes, I have to ask. Saying like the Bible says, we have not because we ask not. So I had to ask. And I'm really grateful you guys have, donated this far and continue to donate to keep me going. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I also have a question here from 12 Step Woman. Are there monk monasteries down there? LE should show you which one and where it is located if they truly know Daniel went there. Now, I did. There is a monastery not too far from where my son went missing. When I say not too far, is if you go back, but you have to go back down Sun Valley Parkway. The easier way to get to it. If you try to go across that desert, it's nearly impossible. But it's not impossible, but not in dangerous condition where he actually make it. He won't make it in a day to get there. I can say it that way. But you have to go down Sun Valley Parkway, had to get back on I-10, and you had to go 2 S's up, and then you had to come back across a good distance to get to this monastery. So I've been there, checked it out. The monastery was closed due to COVID during the time my son was missing. So I don't see a reason how and why he would be there. They was closed because of COVID. I didn't know monasteries actually closes, but they were closed because of COVID. So there is one that's near that area. And like I said, that's a good distance from there, but near that area enough where it had to be searched also. So yes, it was searched. That's the only one I know of. And so yes, thank you for that question. I really appreciate it. I have a question here from Loretta D. David, did William Cody contact you about the sunglasses case he found in the desert? He has a YouTube channel, The Lost Ones. Yes. Well, Cody, yes, he was helped. He came out from, I think he said he's traveling from California, going back home, I think to Colorado somewhere. And he stopped by because he saw this Q&A. He wanted to be helpful. I'm really grateful that he did. He reached out to me. He told me he had these cadaver dogs and he had his search dogs. And that was right on time. I was sending them up to my logistics search coordinator, Evan, to help out there in the searches on Sun Valley Parkway. Changed my mind and had him come down to my special ops area where I was doing search that day. He was able to utilize his dog. Because, when you have dogs, you keep them a separate away from the volunteers because they need to do their job and be away from a bunch of people walking on the ground. So he was able to cover some area that I need to have covered that day while we were doing line searches on a different area next near that area. And so later on that day, I forgot he was out there. To be honest with you, I was on the way back to Phoenix when we finished the line searches. And I called him up, and he told me he was hanging out. His camper. He did some work. He found some human remains out there in that area, which I'm still waiting on Buckeye to get back with me on that. And also, he's later on the week, he went out to Sunbetter Parkway, and he asked me where my son's vehicle was located and the things like that. Give him the information where he found the sunglass case. I did take this picture, and I showed it to my daughters. Because they know what my son wear here in Arizona. I have an idea what he wear too when it comes in terms of sunglasses. My son is a Ray-Bans man, and he do wear that. But the glass case that was found, my daughters didn't have no clue. It don't have anything relevant to Daniel. It don't look like something that he ever had. They never have seen it before. So especially my daughter here in Phoenix that's over his house all the time. So we don't feel like having relations to Daniel. Now I can say, and I really appreciate him. I really appreciate him going out there and do that. But yeah, he did mark that location for me. He left it out there, and it so happened I was trying to find it. He forgot to give me the ping location, and I was trying to find it that day. I decided to make take a longer trip around this other trail to get back to the quarry area, and lo and behold, I saw a stake, and I did collect that item. So I do have that. So I will get it analyzed and things like that, but that's probably on the latter end. I had to be really concerned about the clothing that you see right here on the ground, and all the other things. I do have a cell phone going. Just trying to do one at a time based on what I can do here for funding to keep everything going. Because forensic work is very expensive unless I get a big influx of donations and things like that. This is the way I have to do it very slowly. So really ask you guys if you can donate. Just like right here, please do so. Sign the petition and everything. I need all of that. So thank you so much for your question. I have a question from Donald Duck. Thank you again for being here. I made a video about Daniel's case. Just wanted to make sure you got the link. Okay, well, I'll check. I don't know how you send it. If you send it to, I don't know how you send it, but if you send it to the number that you see below, I'm sure I'll get to it. It'll take a little while sometimes. If you did it there, like I said, you guys, if you text me on that number, I try to get to it as fast as I can. I mean, it's a lot. Sometimes it takes me days to get to it, but I get to it and I respond to you. So thank you so much, Donald Duck. If you send it a different way, I would like, so if it's on the inbox of Twitter that you send it, for instance, I do a lot of Twitter. If you do Instagram, I have family members run Instagram. I also have Gisla K, Gwen running that Instagram. So I don't really see too much of the inboxes on Instagram, but I do for Twitter. So the best way to get me inbox-wise would be Twitter. That'll be a lot quicker, a lot faster for me. So by the time I get to Instagram, things like that, you guys probably have messages from last month or something. So bear with me on that. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you, Don, for your comment. I really appreciate that. I need those comments. You guys, if you want to leave that, they help me out, help my morale and things like that. So thank you so much. You're an awesome father and person, and don't deserve this. Never met you, but can feel and see it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I can feel your heart too. Thank you for being here for Facebook, praying for you and your family, and of course, Daniel. Thank you. We need those prayers. I believe in prayers, and that's what getting us through. Me and my family, getting us through this whole thing. Like I said, 9 months is very hard. Every day is very hard. Every day to get here on this camera. Sometimes, just because you can't see the pain, is there. You know what I'm saying? My family is having it hard. I'm having it hard. So, but we're pushing through, and I'm going to find those answers for my son. So, thank you so much for your prayers, and I really appreciate that. All right. Again, my name is Dave Robinson, the father of Geologist Daniel Robinson. I'm coming down to the end to my Q&A. I'm strolling down. If you guys have a question, in the meantime, put the Q there first, or the word question there first, and then followed by your question. That way I can find it as I'm going down, because I'm trying to go down to the end of this Q&A. Thank you guys for showing up, Don and everybody else, Mr. I'm trying to call you by your first name, David. I know we talked that before. We had the same name. first name, but Racine, we go by last name. But thank you for being here. I see that. I love you too, brother. And thank you so much for being here. Loretta D, thank you so much. I want to put that up real quick. My brother, I had to put you up there. Thank you, Loretta D, so much for being here. Again, I'm looking for these questions. Native Queen has a question here. I really appreciate that. Question: did you hear about the body they found in a well Monday? No, I did not. I don't know if that's here in Arizona. A lot of things go on in Arizona. A lot of things. You guys, I do interviews. A lot of things that happen. I do not even see the interviews that I do because I'm so busy all the time. I don't get to watch a lot of things. I don't get to watch news. I don't get to watch it. I don't know what's really going on in the world. I do know we have a war going on. Well, not we have a war, but there's a war going on in the world with this Russia thing and Ukraine thing. So I do get out a little bit of time to see something really quick, but I don't really know what goes on around. So when you guys give me information like that, that helps out a whole lot. So thank you for that. If it's here in Arizona, I will try to find out about that. If it's something near related to my son, I'll try to find out about that too. So thank you for making me aware of that. I have some people here in the background. I know to hear that you knew Gwen. It helped remind me of this. Lakeisha helped remind me to check into that. So I really appreciate that. So thanks so much. All right. Thank you again. My name is Dave Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson, doing this Q&A. If you have a question, please, by all means, put the word Q, the letter Q, or the word question, followed by your question. Before your question, and that'll help me find it. So I have one here for Sunset Dragon. Is this supposed to be drinking water? The footage that, for those who haven't seen this now, yes, the well that I have searched out there is for drinking water. I don't know if they're going to use that well because they are building a new one, and those two wells may not be good for drinking, and that's the reason why they're not using it. That's why somebody probably is able to throw trash in. I don't know, but yeah, if it was usable, that's how it pretty much will be before they, I guess, suck all that stuff out of there. So yes, they use those wells for drinking water. Yes, they do. It makes you don't want to drink water sometimes looking at that, So I stick to bottled water, and that might not be all that great, but thanks so much for the question. All right. Thank you again. Remember to set a reminder on live stream schedule for tomorrow so that you get notification. That's a good thing. You're right. There is a link on the site here on this Please Help Find Daniel YouTube. And you guys can set a reminder for yourself, that there will be live stream here. Gisla K from Grizzly True Crime, she will be assisting with that. I really appreciate that. I do know that there'll also be another live stream with John Q channel. He'll be assisted by Miss Q. She'll be actually have boots on the ground here for that visual. So you guys can watch the kind of like visual. So you guys can join in. I really appreciate that. If you guys actually can show up in person, that'll be even better, because we need those numbers. So thank you so much for either way. Support is support. If you guys can actually share that link, share that reminder all over, everywhere you go. Just share it to your friends on the social media and get everybody to view it. So if they can't make it, so they can view it and they get awareness. That's what we need for this case. So thank you so much. All right. Again, my name is Dave Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson, who we're missing on June 23rd. I'm here doing a Q&A. I'm coming down to the end of this Q&A. I did a video earlier for those who may have missed it of one of the wells that I had searched on Monday, and I have some questions about some things that was found in that well, but I want to share that along with you guys. And I'm having a kind of like visual tomorrow, and this information here on March 12th tomorrow at 6:30 at the House Senate lawn here in Arizona State Capitol. That's downtown Phoenix here, 1700 West Washington Street, right here in Phoenix. So you guys can come out. I know it's a last minute thing for some of you, but if you come out, I need those numbers. Those numbers matter. Numbers matters, and you guys can come out and show solidarity with us. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the luck, the wishes, best wishes for me and my family and my friends. My extended family will be here. My family member, my daughter will be standing by my side. And so I'm really grateful that you guys will be there also. Okay, I have a question here from Shiro's Nation. Have you asked for the footage from the gas station yourself. The PD in the Alex Ware case were evasive, and people in the community had to demand to get the footage with outside help. Now, I can really, one of the things that was told to me, and I don't know, maybe I should have done that. I should have did my due diligence at the time last year. But I was told that a lot of these cameras have a 30-day, which I know the ones I have has a 30-day limit, unless a person would say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna record this moment, this time, and they keep it for whatever reason. Now, some gas stations back in the day would always record things and keep these records for 6 months. I don't know. I couldn't check into that to make sure they didn't keep some footages for whatever reason. That, hey, we keep footage a year or something. I don't know. And they store them in some. They take it and they have a flash drive or whatever, and they store it somewhere. But usually these systems, camera footage systems, whether they're a security camera in your house or ADT or whatever, they usually keep like 30-day footage, and they kind of overwrite itself as it goes, as the days go. So at this point, I'm hoping, if it's not overwritten, that maybe it should. Since you say that, maybe I should try to consider just asking. Like you said, just asking. You never know. They could have kept something for a year. I don't know. Or because the officers came to ask a question, they decided to record it and keep it just in case. So I could ask those questions and check into that. So thank you so much for putting that. I'll write that down, and I would definitely keep that in mind. So keep that in mind. I'm writing it down now because I will forget. I say I write it down, remember, and I wouldn't. So thank you so much for that question. And I really need that, and that helps out a whole lot. So thank you so much. God bless you on that. All right, now I do have another question here from Loretta. Okay. All right. As American citizens, we have a Freedom of Information. Okay. Yes, I know about that one. Isn't that true? Yes, we do. And that's one of the ways that I'm getting some of the information. This department keep putting things in that report, and so I'm trying to get to a point where I should have asked a while ago, and I kind of think things happen the way it does for me. God has his hand into a lot of stuff, so by the time I do get that freedom of information from this department, I'm using that through my attorney, and try to get the stuff done, and get whatever they say they have at this point. And then try to do it again. So to try to compare some stuff, because I have a lot of comparison. Already it's not looking good for that department with all the stuff they're changing up and things like that. I don't like that because that's showing them not being serious about my son's case, but rather, in my opinion, they're rather looking out for themselves. And my son's life is at stake. So yes, I'm going to try to get all the information I can from that. So, all right. Thank you so much. All right, there you go. And I like this, what you put up there, 12-step woman. That's true. We're not accusing anybody of anything here. We have a right to our opinions, not accusing anybody of anything. So yeah, everybody innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. That is true. But you know what? You can look at some things, and if it's a duck and a quack like a duck, then it's a duck. But I do have my opinions about certain things. So you guys will hear me express a lot of that, and that's the truth. It's my opinions, and a lot of that is backed up by facts, but I still call it opinions for now until I get everything that I need together, and then show you why it's facts. Anyway, I have a question here from Monica. El Grill. I hope I say your name correctly, but thank you, Monica, for being here off of Facebook. I really appreciate you. Have you tried to contact true crime YouTuber to air his story? I don't know what true crime. I know a lot of true crime channels. I do get on Grizzly True Crime, and so I don't know what true crime channel you're referring to, but yeah, I talk to a lot of true crime channels, and try to get my son's story out there. So I'm definitely doing a lot of that all the time. So thank you so much for that question, and I really appreciate it. And I apologize if I didn't get your last name correctly, but thank you for coming in on Facebook, and I really appreciate you. Again, I'm coming down to the end of this Q&A, and I really thank you guys for coming out. I'm looking for any questions. If you guys had any questions, I missed it, I apologize. And if you guys can come back again with your question on Monday, I'll try to do a Q&A for Monday. and also share some new upcoming events because there's some new things coming up. Again, we have the Candlelight Vigil. It will be live streaming here on this channel at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. That's Mountain Time. That's here, Mountain Standard Time. If you're in South Carolina, of course, that'll be 8 o'clock at night on the East Coast time, 8:30. So, if you're in, of course, Central Time, it'd be less than that, 7:30. So, and if you're in California, it'd be at 5:30 p.m. So you guys, if you can join in, I really appreciate it. And watch, the live stream, or if you actually be there, that's even better. Like I said, I would love you to be there. You can just go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com on the events tab and RSVP. That would definitely help. And you actually come. We want to make sure you have the candles and the ribbons that you need. We have a lot, but we want to make sure we have enough. So for you guys, and you see everything on that site. And also, if you want to help in other kind of ways, you got other ways you can help. So just check out the website for all kind of things there on the website, or how you can help to support. But I really thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out to support and helping me with everything. God bless you, and I actually love you for everything you do. I have to go now because I do have a full schedule today. So thank you so much. God bless you.